It always amazes me when I see someone do a YouTube video, and on the YouTube video they're doing an unboxing and it's like a mystery unboxing. Yet in the title or thumbnail they actually put what it is they're unboxing. Kind of takes away the mystery. I say that because I was going to do something similar. This is the third part of a series we're doing of what is the best statue of each character within a certain group. And today we're looking at DC. So just like the last two videos where we did X-Men and the rest of Marvel, and we have more coming, we're going to take a look at the main DC characters and figure out which statue is the best of that particular character. So what's the best Superman? What's the best Batman? What's the best Dick?
That's what she said.
As the Extreme channel is pushing towards 50,000 subscribers, these are just a few of the statues we are giving away on the journey there. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Hey, thanks for tuning into the Extreme channel. We're all about extreme collectibles. Every once in a while we do a video like this, trying to figure out whether it's a top 10 countdown of a specific series or character, or like these recent videos right here. This first one we talked about X-Men, and then here we talked about the rest of Marvel. We're looking at all the different characters and saying, okay, what is the best one of that particular character? And just like the previous videos, I ran into a few issues. Like, for example, there's not really a lot of Riddler statues out there. I actually do own a Riddler, this piece right here, but to my knowledge, it's really the only one out there. There are a few other customs, but this one, in my opinion, is absolutely phenomenal. And I think there was recently a 1/10 scale by Iron Studios. So to narrow that down a little bit, we are looking at license, we're looking at custom, we're looking at stuff that's been released, we're looking at stuff that maybe isn't released, but it's been revealed, and we're looking at any scale. 1/10 all the way up to life size. Now, a few other decently popular characters that there just aren't enough statue options, like Brainiac or King Shark or even Constantine, even though there are a few options, I totally left off the list. But let's start with the most popular, obviously Superman. And with Superman, there are so many different choices, but to me, I've said this all the time, Prime One Studios' Superman Hush has been unmatched. Absolutely amazing. They're releasing it in quarter scale as well, which I have no issues with. I'm going to keep the third scale. Number one Superman, never been beat despite all the different options. The day I'm filming this, J&D actually teased that they're going to do a Christopher Reeve 1/3 scale, which I really look forward to as well, because to me, Christopher Reeve was my Superman along with the comic Superman. And I think that's something good to touch on, that we're looking at the best statue overall. For example, we're going to get into Joker. As you know, there's so many comic variations of Joker. There's so many movie variations. We're just going to pick one. And I'm going to say Batman for last, because arguably there are more Batman statues than anything else in the world. And as a reminder, some of these I own, some of these I don't own. I probably kind of wish I did. Let's jump back in. Starting with Batman villains, we'll talk about Joker. This one was really difficult for me because I've probably owned about 15 different Joker statues. I've seen more than that in person, and there are some absolutely amazing ones. 1/3 scale, quarter scale, life size, but to me, the absolute best Joker statue is the Prime One Studio 3rd scale Bermejo. If I had to have just one Joker statue, this would be it without a doubt, in my opinion. Two options we have for Mr. Freeze. Prime One Studios 1/3 Mr. Freeze. I remember when this came out, I thought this was the best licensed statues I've ever seen. While I don't think it's the best anymore, it is still definitely the best Mr. Freeze. Prime One also takes the cake with Poison Ivy, I think. Now, they just revealed they're going to do this with a flesh skin tone, which I really like that as well, but I'm going to stick with the one I own here. This is definitely the best Poison Ivy that's been made. Few other options in quarter scale that I've seen, but I don't think this has been beat. And you'll notice Prime One Studio is going to win a lot of these categories because that's what they specialize in. Their 1/3 scale DC line is pretty hard to beat. But I think this next character, a custom, actually beat their 1/3 scale. That is Killer Croc. I think this is the best Killer Croc statue out there. Absolutely amazing. I've owned two other ones, and this one, in my opinion, does take it. Next one, I've owned 4 or 5 of her, Joker's girlfriend, Harley Quinn. And honestly, I think the best one is not one that I own. I think it is this one from Prime One Studio where she's sitting in the chair. While it doesn't clearly cover some of the conceptual stuff I love about Harley, it's an absolutely amazing looking statue. Sticking with Batman villains here, Scarecrow. Few different options. We've had XM Samurai. I currently own 2, but I think Sideshow's premium format they came out with recently was awesome. I think Tweeterhead recently revealed one, and it has a chance to beat this. But for now, I like the Sideshow as number 1. Catwoman's an interesting one because we've had some great actresses like Michelle Pfeiffer, Anne Hathaway, and so many different versions of just those two individuals. Plus, plus a lot of cool comic ones. I've owned about 4 or 5, and I think the best one is actually one I don't own. I think Infinity Studios made the best Catwoman statue in Anne Hathaway. While I don't think she's the best Catwoman, this is the best statue in my opinion. And what's funny is, I also think the best Bane is from The Dark Knight as well. Or more specifically, The Dark Knight Returns. And that is made by Prime 1 Studios. While I don't think this is the best version of Bane, I think this is the best statue of Bane. This is absolutely amazing in real life. It is really, really impressive. But I do think it will be unseated by this custom quarter scale diorama of Bane, Poison Ivy, and Harley Quinn. I have this coming in, hopefully later this year. If you want to see the review on this, make sure you've not only liked this video, but you sub to the channel and hit that bell notification. Another Batman villain that until recently there weren't a lot of choices. Penguin. So I owned this Penguin right here, and I still have it to this day. I think it's fantastic. It was really our best Penguin option, but as of recent, we've had some other contenders, and I think Prime 1 Studios 1/3 will be the best Penguin statue out there, although I really do like Sideshow's recent reveal, and yes, I do have the Prime 1 Studio on order. We've had a few different Doomsday statues, but this is no surprise. Prime 1 Studios 3rd scale Doomsday is unmatched in my opinion. I don't know if it'll ever be beat. What I love about this statue too is it was only like $1,300, where nowadays it would be $2,500 to $3,000 if Prime 1 Studios made it, so I definitely bought it at the right time. And obviously Doomsday wasn't a Batman villain. We're transitioning away. Some other kind of villains in the universe. Lobo. A few different Lobo statues out there from licensed companies mostly, but I really like XM Studios Lobo on bike. This one's 6 scale. I've seen this in person. I just don't collect 1/6. That's why I don't own it, but absolutely amazing piece. That is definitely, in my opinion, the best Lobo statue we've seen. Let's cover some of the other Justice League. Some of this is tough because, believe it or not, there's not a lot of statue options out there. There is a Wonder Woman, probably the most out there, and while I think there are some really, really good choices of the comic versions of Wonder Woman, I think the Infinity Studios bust that represents Gal Gadot is the best done. The likeness is just uncanny and a very, very cool piece times 10. Green Lantern's a very tough one. I think the best Green Lantern statue is one I don't own. It's this one 6 scale by XM Studios. Very, very cool. I see so many Green Lanterns with horrible poses. This is awesome. I wish the guns were a little more translucent resin for the construct. But otherwise, in my opinion, this is the best. I would buy this if this was quarter scale or 1/3 scale. Although it'd be huge at 1/3 scale. Aquaman. Again, some choices from the DCU, some choices from comic. My opinion was this custom right here. Absolutely amazing. I owned it for a while, then I had to sell it. Clearly, Aquaman wasn't the star of the statue, but so many other things made this statue absolutely amazing, which is why I would classify it as the #1 Aquaman statue. Another member of the Justice League, which is really hard in my opinion, is Flash. I've owned about 4 Flash statues, and to be honest with you, I've sold most of them because it's just not my cup of tea. I don't think they've made a good Flash statue in my opinion yet. I think as collectors, we take what we can get, so I'm not even putting Flash on there. However, last member of the Justice League, and again, we're covering Batman last, Cyborg, not a lot of options. I did really like the Prime 1 quarter scale 52 option. I own this for a while. Fantastic piece. Cyborg just doesn't get a lot of love in general. Few offshoot characters that we have had some options of. One is Hawkman. I think the winner of that is easily the Iron Studios 1/3 scale. I actually did have this on order directly through Iron Studios, and they canceled my order because they ran out of stock. I would have loved to own this at retail, and I know they had some shipping issues with it, but I think this is absolutely amazing. And recently, due to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, we've started to get some Black Adam statues out there. And I did order Prime 1 Studio because I think this is going to be the best out there. I think the likeness is second to none. I recently got a Blitzway statue who also did this with Prime 1 of Peacemaker, of John Cena, and the likeness was absolutely great. So before I dive into Batman, I want to dive into a version of Batman. This is kind of a cheat in this entire list, but the entire Dark Knight metal line. So XM Studios made one. There's been a few customs, not many. And then, of course, you have Prime 1 Studios 1/3 scale, which is the best of those Dark Knight metal statues. And technically, most of them are actually a version of Batman. To me, it's Prime 1 Batman Who Laughs. This one is unbeatable. So far, at least. Unbeatable is probably the wrong word, but it hasn't been beat. Very cool piece. Which brings us to Batman. What's the best Batman statue? Which is so hard for me. I have owned probably over 30 Batman statues, probably even higher than that. And I actually thought pretty long and hard on this one. And I think the best Batman statue is one I've never owned, but I have seen it in person. And I tried to pick it up a few months ago, but shipping is just outrageous on this. I think it's this one from Prime 1 Studios, the Detective Batman. This looks absolutely amazing in person. If you haven't seen it, to me, the best Batman statue, which is crazy because there are so many options. I would speculate licensed alone, there's probably 60 to 70 Batman statue options of just Bruce Wayne. And then add another 30 to 40 customs in there. Again, especially if you think about the different scales. And then you add in the DCU. I'm probably underestimating this, to be honest with you. But that's the best one. A second close one would be a tie for me between these two statues right here. A custom Batman and Batman Hush from Prime 1 Studio. I ended up keeping them both, if you remember that video, because they look absolutely fantastic. And I don't think we can forget about the Samurai line for top contenders. Not only Batman himself, where I put this Shogun, but the other characters almost made it. This would probably be in the top for Batman statues as well. And of course, we can't forget the recent reveal or release of Prime 1 Studios' Justice Buster. So hard to pick one. They're all amazing. The great thing is, of everything I went through, obviously this is subjective. This is my opinion. So if you disagree with that, go cry to your mom and then put your comments below. And I won't cry to my mom because I think it's cool we have different opinions. But throw that down in the comments below because it could actually win you a statue. We will be giving all of these statues away, plus additional ones at every 5,000 subscriber milestone. To win one of these statues, all you have to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, you've hit that bell notification, and then just drop a comment below. Every 5,000 subscriber milestone, we are going to do a random drawing and pick a random comment and give one of these statues away, plus some additional ones I'm not showing right now. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in for this series. I hope you're enjoying it. We have a couple more to come. In the meantime, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And take care of yourself in a, non-weird way.